Hello, and welcome to Your Vote Counts, a public, informational, nonpartisan program designed to get the public acquainted with the candidates that are vying for this 2022 general election in the races of Congressional District 6, Senate Districts 10 and 11, House Districts 17 through 23, Salem City Council, and Marion County Commissioner. These interviews come to you through the producers at Capital Community Media with collaboration on questions and volunteer moderators from the Association of University Women, Salem City Club, League of Women Voters of Marion and Polk counties. All 27 candidates for these races were invited, and all but 5 chose to participate. Candidates did not receive the questions prepared by the League of Women Voters ahead of time. They cover the areas of health, finance, environment, education, so there's a variety. Candidates were invited to prepare a 2-minute opening addressing their background and their qualifications for the office. And they will also be invited to have a 2-minute closing to talk about their goals for the office if they're elected. I'm Bernadine Anderson from the League of Women Voters, and today I would like to introduce TJ Sullivan, who is running for House District 19. Candidate Sullivan, welcome. And
Thank
we
you very
look
much.
forward to your 2-minute opening remarks.
Thank you. So I was born and raised in the district for which I'm running. I also represented this district on Salem City Council, a large portion of it. And it was during that time that we had what a lot of people have referred to as Salem's golden years, where we worked together with a diverse group of people on council, and we achieved a lot of success, creating a lot of great opportunities for Salemites. And I look forward to taking that same success to our state capitol building and doing everything that I can to make sure that Oregon continues to be the greatest state in the country. I believe it's the greatest state in the country. So as I travel around to other states and I come back to Oregon, one thing that I've seen that bothers me is that Oregon is extremely poor compared to other states. Our citizenry do not enjoy the same kind of economic security that people in other states do. And as I look and try to figure out, we have the natural resources, we have the natural beauty. There's no reason for our state to be as poor as we are. And I look at some of the decisions that have been made at the state level, and I look at things like Cover Oregon, where $300 million was spent on something that never, ever saw the light of day. And I look at what's happening with our foster kids program, where over $250 million has been paid out in lawsuits. And you know what? Those poor foster kids that have been abused and without anybody paying attention to them, they've already been through enough. They don't deserve to be abused once they're in the state system. And so I look forward to bringing some business acumen to the state of Oregon to try to help solve some of these issues that are plaguing our state right now. I look forward to getting in there and doing that. I'm excited for the opportunity.
Thank you for your opening remarks. Now we have some questions to share with you. And in your opening remarks, you addressed some things that were funding and legislative. So what do you think of this question? What are your thoughts regarding the Inflation Reduction Act, as well as the infrastructure bill? What elements there do you think might benefit Oregon?
Thank you for the question. The Inflation Reduction Act, I think, was an honest attempt on the part of our federal government to deal with the rising cost of inflation. And I'm hopeful that it will have some impact. Inflation is something that a lot of people are certainly worried about. You know, we've pumped a lot of money into our economy. And in talking to different economists, they've said that when we were pumping all that money into our economy, it was basically pumping steroids into somebody who had a cold, that when the cold wore off, the steroids were going to take over, that money was going to take over. And so I think our economy is going to come roaring back based on what I'm talking to. So I'm excited to see, and the Inflation Reduction Act won't have as much to do with it, but I'm hopeful that it will, in the short term, have some impact because a lot of families are certainly struggling with the rising cost of especially food items.
Okay. Did you have any comments about the infrastructure bill?
The infrastructure bill, yes, thank you. Yeah, I am hopeful. I think that we have some failing bridges around in Oregon, and the infrastructure bill could certainly go a long way to helping repair some of those failing bridges.
Okay, thank you. What do you think about renewable energy tax credits?
I think that is an awesome opportunity for us to invest in renewable energy. When I look at the carbon emissions for the state of Oregon, one of the things that I've seen is that even without any kind of enforcement actions, that the carbon emissions for the state of Oregon are going down. And that's without any kind of enforcement actions. And the last thing, if we're going to meet our goals for carbon emissions, the last thing that we need to do is figure out how to convert all of our gas-powered cars to electric. And in talking with people from PGE, there's just no way for the grid as it exists right now to power everybody switching to electric cars. So the next step is going to have to be solar energy. And so I think that anything that we can do to encourage that, to have it be a market-driven approach with encouragement from the government, I think is the way that we're going to meet the next round of goals.
Thank you. What steps do you think we need to take to address Oregon's youth mental health needs, considering some of the reports and the time that we've spent in COVID?
Yes, thank you for that question. I think that, as I've been talking with teachers about what's going on inside of our classrooms. And I think there's this misnomer out that mental illness starts when you hit 25. And that's not the case. I think that our teachers are seeing it in the classrooms. I was talking with a fourth grade teacher who got a concussion when one of her students threw a chair at her. And I don't know about you, but when I hear that a fourth grader is willing to pick up a chair and throw it at a teacher, that tells me that there's a lot going on inside that child that is needs to be addressed with somebody who's a professional, probably. And so I would look forward to using some of the one-time funds that we're getting from the federal government to getting more mental health officers into our schools so that we can start to address some of these issues before they graduate and are in a position to be on our streets.
Now, you've mentioned schools. So, with this question, how do you think we should address teacher shortages that Oregon is currently experiencing?
Thank you. Yeah, in talking to the teachers that I've asked to advise me through the process. I'm an insurance agent. I'm not a teacher. I've got kids in school. I've got a lot of I coach a lot of kids in baseball who are in public schools, and so I'm talking to their parents all the time. And as I'm talking with the teachers, they're frustrated. They feel like they're being asked not to teach, and they want to get back to the basics of teaching. There's that aha moment that goes on when you are a coach or a teacher that you see in a kid when you're working with them. And teachers got into teaching for that aha moment. And right now, they're being asked to lower their F rates, and they're changing their grading. They're asked to change their grading so that what would normally be a failing grade is no longer failing, and so they're just passing kids. And it's for teachers, it's debilitating when you got into the profession to teach kids, to educate them, and then you're told if they're not making it, just pass them anyway. That's a debilitating thing for teachers, and it makes them not want to go do their job. That's the common thing that I'm hearing, is that teachers are disenfranchised with they want to be able to push their students, to teach their students, and to see the growth in their students. And they're asked right now not to do that. And I think that we have to get back to saying, you know what, we are going to have the best schools in the country, and our teachers are the best way that we're going to achieve that. And so we believe in our teachers, and we are going to. That's our mission statement, that we will have the best schools in the country. Period.
Thank you. What do you think is, since this is election season, what is being done to protect and support county election officials and their support staff as they conduct their election duties? Is there anything else you think should be done?
Well, I had a chance to run Janet Carlson's campaign when she ran against George Bell, and I think she ended up winning that by 18 votes, which is not a lot. And I was down at the county elections when Al Davidson was our city recorder or county recorder. And I'll tell you what, the amount of volunteers that come in to help out with that process, God bless those people for volunteering their time to go in and count ballots, because there is nothing that is more monotonous than counting ballots. And pretty soon they all start to look the same, and they are the same. But trying to count and just pick up one or two little differences in a ballot is tough to do. And the volunteers that go in to monitor it, it's really quite a process, and it's something that is a great way to participate in our democracy. And I value all the volunteers that go in to our county elections to help maintain the integrity of that process.
Thank you. Now, financially, considering Oregon's unique kicker policy, what impact do you think it has on the financial accountability and stability of our government?
Well, I think that the kicker policy is something that forces our state economists to really be experts in their craft at forecasting. And I think it's a fair process for budgeting to guesstimate how much money is coming in, and then to build your budgets around that. And if you come in over budget, that you are able to, in your revenue, that you're able to return that money, and that return of the kicker dollars, we've seen the effect of it and how it continues to kick. And there's certainly communities around this state where the folks in those communities can use those kicker rebate checks.
Thank you. Does Oregon have the resources to provide adequate and accessible health care to Oregonians? And why would you think that, or why not?
Yes. Well, thank you. I think that Oregon does have the resources to provide adequate health care. I think that we can do a better job. I think that we need to be lobbying our federal officials for increases in the Medicaid and Medicare rates. Those right now are really, those Medicare and Medicaid rates, reimbursement rates, are so low, and it's really impacting our hospital systems, and especially our nursing homes and our assisted living facilities, so that individuals that are utilizing those facilities and are on Medicare or Medicaid, those facilities are not getting the adequate reimbursement rates, and they're hemorrhaging money. And we need to get a higher reimbursement rate from Medicare and Medicaid. And if we can do that, we will start to see a better return on our investment into those systems.
Great. Related to that question, in public health, is CDC has produced some statistics on injuries and death from shootings. How do you want to have open discussion around guns in our society? What does that look like to you?
I mean, I think that you start talking about that, and people get very passionate on both sides of the issue. But I think you've got to get them into a room together and start to talk about, like, okay, we can't have any more of these shootings. And I mean, red flag laws seem like a pretty basic a way where we can, if you start to have concerns about a person, that you could raise the awareness level before it's too late. But I think we've got to. I mean, I would be happy to chair that committee as passionate as people would get in it. I feel like that could be a strength of mine, is to bring people on opposite sides together and try to reach some kind of collaboration.
Okay. Our last question for today is this one. What is your experience in working with diverse groups, and how do you think you would bring a broader based policy process into planning and decision making?
Thank you for that question. When I was on our city council, there were times when there were very contentious issues, and I would reach out to people that I had almost nothing in common with and said, would you be willing to come in and spend some time with people that you wholeheartedly disagree with, so that we can maybe find some common ground, and let's see how we can achieve a better policy outcome as a result. And I'm grateful to say that we were able to achieve some pretty cool outcomes by bringing together people from very different backgrounds.
Thank you. We now have the opportunity to hear candidate Sullivan's 2-minute closing remarks about his goals for this office if elected. Candidate Sullivan?
Yes, thank you. I would say that Oregon is at a crossroads. We have a decision to make whether we like the direction of our state or whether we want to try to see if we can get things to go in a different direction. I am unsatisfied with where our schools are at, and I feel like we could be doing a lot better for the dollars that we're investing into our schools. We need somebody with a business acumen to come in and provide some feedback to our different state agencies with the goal of helping them achieve. Our business community needs our school system to be producing students at a higher level than what we're currently producing. And we are very much reliant on our state government, and the state government is reliant on business. Without the taxes that businesses pay, our state government cannot fully function to meet the needs of our growing state. And we have to do a better job all the way around. And I want to be that bridge between the business community and our state government. And I feel like with my business acumen and my background, I am the right person to come in and help build bridges and get our state working together in the right direction and have Oregon at its best.
So today we would like to thank candidate TJ Sullivan, who is running for our House District 19, for sharing his thoughts. And we do appreciate you coming. Thank you.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here.
And we also want to thank Capital Community Media for their extensive technology and producer skills that were used to create this program. Thank you to the League of Women Voters of Marion and Polk Counties for the design and preparation of the program, and to AAUW, Salem City Club, for help with the question development and for providing some moderator volunteers. And thank you to the public for watching in order to become an informed voter. For more local, state, and national voter information on candidates and ballot measures, please visit vote411.org. You have until October 18th to register to vote or to make any changes in your registration due to moving, party change, other situations. Please check your registration. Ballots go out beginning October 19th, and according to our new law, they will be accepted and counted if postmarked before or on the day of November 8th. Elections matter. Remember to vote, because your vote counts.